two. Now to one. It's Dean. Yes!
MC Cannibal, rap Hannibal. Here to change the game, mainframe, all y'all programmable. Coaching on tracks, balling like a paper like Phil. I'm on BS for real.
Welcome to the Faithful Fan Show. I'm your host, Tony Cook, joined today by none other than your New York insider, the Jets. What are we talking about? The Knicks. We're talking about the Mets. We're talking about everything New York. Big
go.
The Big Apple. What's up? How you been, dog?
Good. East Coast living.
Still East Coast living. So does the fall feel like winter out there? Because we're spoiled out here in California, but I'm already
Not at all right now. It's been actually really warm. Right now it's like 60 or 59, somewhere in there. And we've had 80 degree days in November, so it's not bad.
I got you. You know, I always got to do a temperature check with you out there on the east.
Yeah, if you go out at 4 in the morning, it'll be a little colder, but that's it.
Yep. Hey, but before we get to, when Juan's on the show, we're gonna be talking a lot of New York sports.
New York, let's go.
First, before we get to the New York sports, I gotta ask his opinion on we're gonna wrap up our thoughts on the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. Did you watch it or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. Because I actually only watched the highlights because I was working, but I was like I was tuned in the whole time, kind of like I was locked in the whole time. But what are your thoughts on the fight? What do you have to say about the Jake Paul W over Mike Tyson?
Well, before you go there, just a shout out to Serrano and I think named Taylor, the girls that fought before them. That was honestly worth the price of admission, so to speak. That was a great fight, except for the result. Serrano should have won.
I heard that, and I heard that I think the other girl's name was Taylor, right? Last name Taylor. I heard she threw some like impactful punches, but
no, listen, don't get it twisted. I've never seen a fight where there wasn't a second when they were not punching each other. Like, it was crazy.
Gotcha.
8 full rounds of just wailing on each other. And Taylor, they're both legit, but I just thought Serrano was the aggressor, the entire fight. And then statistically, she hit, she landed more punches, everything. And Taylor got a point taken away.
Okay.
And somehow she still won. No. She shouldn't have won.
So hold on. So, was this already a rematch?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was hearing Taylor is hesitant on taking another fight because it was already a rematch. That was.
Yeah, it was. I guess she won the first fight. I didn't see the first fight, but she won the first fight by split decision, and this one she won unanimous. And there's no way that's the kind of.
And you watched that whole fight too.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing, and that's the thing about boxing, right? That makes a fight like Jake Paul and Iron Mike draw so many eyes, and then get paid, $60 million.
Yeah.
Because boxing is it's a mess, and you got decisions like that just kind of put a bad face on it. So
yeah,
that's why Jake Paul can be an entertainer and come in and put on a show with Mike Tyson. So that's what it was, right? I mean, everybody was hyped because of the Mike Tyson training videos.
Yeah.
Right? But he's training against the guy wearing pads. He's not to me.
Yeah, he's not getting punches thrown at him,
Yeah. That slows you down a lot. Trust me, no matter who you are, like somebody can punch, you're gonna get slowed down a little bit.
Yep.
Like Mike Tyson has historically said, everybody has a plan to get punched in the fucking face or in the mouth, or whatever.
Exactly. You get punched in the mouth.
So, but anyway, I thought it went how I thought it would go. Honestly.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was gonna ask. How you felt before, like going into the fight. Who you thought?
I didn't see how it could be a good fight. Like it was like. Because I think like a lot of people, I had hope, right? From the training videos that, man, if Mike Tyson can just like unhitch, one of his uppercuts or one of his hooks on Jake Paul to knock him back, like that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like that would have been cool. So it was like a hope, like, oh man, I hope. But at the end of the day, he looked like a 50-year-old dude trying to fight a 27-year-old guy.
Yeah, dude. Like that's the whole thing. And that's a lot of commentary I heard from the beginning. I heard a lot of people after the first round, after he tried to charge him and you could tell his balance wasn't right. His legs aren't strong
Well,
enough.
in the first and second round, he looked okay. Like,
Yeah,
okay, like he can do some stuff and maybe he's dangerous, right? Like he didn't look like he was just gonna overpower him, but he looked dangerous, right?
yeah.
Like, like he could wait his time, like, but then by the third round rolled around, like it literally looked like he should have been like, I'm gonna exaggerate a little bit, but almost like he could have used a walker.
No,
Like he was just kind of dragging his feet, like he looked old. Like he was,
and he's 58.
he's 58.
All
What do
due
you,
respect. It's honestly honorable that he went all 8 rounds.
He did, but you know what? I'll give Jake Paul a lot of credit. I'm not a Jake Paul fan per se, but I, it's impressive what he's done. I mean, you don't just get up off your YouTube chair one day and be like, I'm gonna go box some dudes,
Oh yeah, for sure.
you know?
And
And he's all right. So I think what he did with Tyson was he tried to box him. Like he tried to box him with respect. Like he could have just gone in there and wailed
I
on
think he could have too.
you
And
know?
that's what I'm so happy. I'm so happy that he didn't, because that's
Yeah.
why I honestly wasn't even interested in watching it, because like I didn't want to see that.
Yeah, Tyson yeah. For sure.
Get put on his ass, on his face. Like I
Right.
just want him to see him hit the canvas, and Jake Paul is the reason. Like
Right.
I was like, he doesn't
No,
deserve
like
that. So honestly, kudos to Jake Paul for doing it
Yes,
the
he was.
right way.
I was impressed. I was impressed the way Jake Paul did everything, and you know what? He's an entertainer, whatever. I mean, he seems to be a legit boxer, but which he's only going to get better. Um, but he's also primarily an entertainer, and that's what he did. And
Yeah.
I don't hate. I always think these people make way too much money, but I don't really hate them. I mean, if that's what
Found an
people,
avenue. He's getting the
you know,
bag, and he's
if,
getting other
if
people paid too. I'm not even mad because his
nah,
opponents
yeah.
bag too. That's why they're
Yeah.
signing up for it.
Exactly. I'm not mad at him. I mean, he can get it. Go get it, man. Like, good for him. And yeah, but it was a little sad to see Tyson move the way he did after that second round. Like, it was just tough. It was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Um,
But what do we
but
expect? What do we expect?
but
Like
exactly. But
a
what
second
was the
size
yeah?
enough.
It was
58.
just hope. It was just hope that he would just unleash
I was
something.
arguing with a bunch
You
of
know?
guys from work. Like I argued with, I'll name them, Jesse. I argued with Damian Khan, because they're,
Mhm.
me too. I was like, I don't want Iron Mike to lose, but I
Right.
think Jake Paul's gonna let him beat him. It's like I just don't think it's a thing. 27 to 58 is too wide of
Nah,
a
too
gap.
much.
Even if you're Mike Tyson, because
Yeah.
yeah, even if you're
Maybe if Jake Paul was a complete bum, but he's not a bum. He knows what he's doing. He can punch.
yep, he can
And he's getting better. Like
getting better.
he's getting better. So, the guy seems to be legit. So,
Let's
good.
see him
Good
fight
for him.
a professional boxer now. We're done with all the
Yeah. We're done with
ex
all the
UFCs, ex
we're done with all the half or whatever. Let's see him
let's
fight
see real
like
stuff.
a
Because the
real
last time he
boxer and
fought
see where he's
a
at.
last time he fought a real boxer, that's his only L. He fought what's his name? Tyson Fury's little brother.
Yeah,
Tommy.
but it went to a decision, wasn't it?
It went to decision, but Tommy
I
Fury
mean,
won. He won
I mean
though.
that's you don't get in a ring with a professional boxer and go to decision.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. So
that's
but
impressive.
that's what I want to see though. I want to see him
Yeah,
progress. But that's not really where the money's at, because he's not going to fight a champion in his
right.
career. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
But
mean,
anyways, go
he's
ahead.
young. He'll get a couple more, he'll probably do a couple more fights and eventually, he'll fight he'll fight somebody good.
Hopefully, I hope he
Hopefully.
does. I hope
Yeah.
he does.
All
But
right.
we're enough boxing talk. Thank
Yeah.
you, Juan. Hey, y'all didn't know that we could go this deep on boxing, did you?
Yeah, you didn't know.
Me and
Oh.
Big Juan from the Big Apple. But we're gonna get right to New York talk. And first and foremost, we're gonna talk about the Jets. Because last time I talked to you, we were,
Do we have
I
to?
think it was like within week one or week two. It was early in the season, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad yet.
Right.
And then it got kind of bad, and y'all
Mhm.
made a trade. Y'all made a trade. Did the trade happen before Aaron Rodgers got the coach fired?
Which trade? Which one?
Sorry. The Devontae Adams trade. Sorry.
That happened the same week that Robert Saleh got fired.
So it all happened kind of in the same week.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers over there pulling the strings, Juan.
Maybe.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask how you feel, and then also we're gonna ask what is your so far season grade It's
I
about
mean, I don't think you can.
to.
I don't think you can give him anything but an F. I mean,
Oh,
it's
F.
yeah. It's. I mean, come on.
Offense. We'll start with the offense because we're on the
No,
air.
just everything. I mean, it's F all across the board, right? I mean, Robert Sala's firing was the most asinine, stupid thing that you could do as an owner, in my opinion.
I think
I'm
so.
not saying Robert Sala was a good head coach. Obviously, the record doesn't show it. Of course, I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been fired at the end of the season. Yeah, at the end of the season, you get there, you still don't make the playoffs. Yeah, you got to let the guy go. Of course, that's
Yeah.
understandable. But at the point that it happened, it was just terrible, terrible decision. The Jets were a good defensive team
Yeah.
with a mediocre offense that assumed was like just needed to gel, get better, whatever.
Oh, wait. So would you say that Aaron Rodgers is not the reason
Oh
surrounding?
no. I mean, at this point, I don't know about behind the scenes how much Aaron Rodgers is the cause. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I really don't know. It's hard to tell. Honestly, obviously, a lot of people believe he is the reason behind the scenes that
Yeah,
everything's going to shit.
absolutely.
But right now, the product he's putting on the field, he's the reason for sure on the field, right? Like he's missing throws that he just shouldn't miss.
Yeah.
Um, Especially with Garrett Wilson. I don't know if Garrett Wilson's faster than he thinks, than Aaron Rodgers thinks he is, or whatever it is. But there's a lot of missed stuff with Garrett Wilson, and now with Devontae Adams. He's just missing them. Like, come on. You're gonna tell me that uh, I don't even remember dudes' names, but random dudes and every other team can get open, but Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams cannot get open? Like that's
Right.
not that makes no freaking sense whatsoever.
And the
So
problem isn't necessarily the offensive line because you guys have
it's not a great offensive line to be honest, but it's not terrible. It's not bad. They're okay. They're okay.
is
So
Tyron Smith's not injured yet, or is he still playing?
he is injured. He missed. Hey, credit to him. He missed his first game this last game. It was the first one he hasn't started.
Okay.
Ofunashu, or however you pronounce for however you pronounce his name, is a rookie. He started.
Okay.
They're okay. So yeah, it just right now Aaron Rodgers looks like Zach Wilson, and
Mm.
um, so you gotta point the finger at him, and of course they don't really have a good offensive staff. That like offensive coaches are just terrible. They should have never hired Nathaniel Hackett, but it
Uh,
was a package deal with Aaron Rodgers, and then they got I know Robert Sala at the beginning during the offseason, he tried to get a consultant for offense to try
okay.
and like do something about that, but he nobody would do it because they wanted to be offensive coordinator. They didn't want to have the consultant title.
So we had to bring someone else in, or what
No,
happened?
no, he couldn't. Like at
He
the
was
end of
ended
the
up
day,
not doing it. Okay, gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
he wasn't able to bring him in. So anyway, I mean, Robert Saleh was trying, like he was trying to fix things, but man, he's just not there as a head coach yet. I'm sure. Look, I think at the end of the day, next coaching job Robert Saleh has, he's gonna be really good. Honestly, that's my personal opinion, but we'll see. But he had to go through this, and the Jets just have a really good way of just making everybody just look terrible that goes through that fucking organization. Just,
Hey
just
fam, can you guys hear Juan's frustration? Like, okay,
here's a good illustration of frustration. My wife just got introduced to football, like let's say, 4 or 5 years ago, and so obviously she tries to be a Jets fan, cause supporter, but like she tries, tries to watch the games with me every week, and she's like, "This is depressing. Like, this is really sad." And she's not a football expert, but
that's how my wife feels too when she watches the cow. She just sees how it makes me feel, and she's
yeah.
like, "Oh God," she's like, "Please no." She's like, "Sunday's supposed to be happy." I feel
Yeah,
you,
well,
Juan. I feel
but
you.
that's where we're at. Yeah, so you'd have to give them an F because it's been the expectation and the roster. They have a good roster. You can't tell me that if you have Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, and
Absolutely
Devontae Adams on the same fucking field, you cannot get anybody open. Like that just
crazy.
no sense whatsoever, right? So that's just to me, in my opinion, that's terrible coaching, and then Now Aaron Rodgers, for whatever reason, it could just be he's freaking old. He's like 40, he's 40.
Yep.
It's just missing guys, and he's not up to the task, right? Like he's really not up to the
Does
task.
it seem like
That's
he's
that's that's my conclusion.
does it seem like he's getting time in the pocket, or is he running around for his life?
No, I mean he's not getting great time, but he's getting enough time to make some plays, and he's
Still
just
not.
not making them. He's missing guys. But yeah, he could use another half second. We would probably be a lot better if he got another half second. But whatever. And then now, since Robert Saleh's firing the defense, which a lot of people argue we're a playoff defense, now they're the worst defense in the NFL, right? Like
Are you
they can't-
serious? You guys are
yeah.
dropping like that? You're exaggerating when you say
I
worse.
don't think so. I think right now, statistically, they're at the bottom 3 or 4, thereabouts. But they're terrible. They're giving up like 130 yards on the ground per game. They can't stop anybody. This last game against the Colts, they were up 8 in the fourth quarter. Defense couldn't stop them. Gave up the game-winning touchdown. They didn't even give up a field goal. They gave up the touchdown. Like Anthony Richardson just
Oh yes, yes, yes. I
just
watched that. I watched
drove
that.
them down the field like in 5 plays, done. Like no problem with like a minute and a half. Like just no problem because defense can't stop anybody. Like nothing.
Wow.
Uh,
So hey, so fans, you've heard it. It's F's across the board so far.
yeah, just
And you guys
terrible.
played what? 9 games? It's about 9 games, right?
3-7, 10 games, I think.
10 games, 10 games.
Yeah,
So
3-7.
we're past the halfway mark. And do you see you guys sneaking in for a wild card? Because you guys still
Hell no.
no, not
Hell
at all.
no.
Okay, got you.
No, no, I mean look at the AFC, dude. You
The
got
AFC is nasty right now. You're
the
right. You're right.
Chargers are coming up. Look at the Steelers are ahead of the Ravens. So I mean, if that holds
That's
up, the
true.
Ravens aren't gonna get out, not gonna make the playoffs.
Yep, and the Bengals are still well, the
You
Bengals
know?
are, but
No, the Bengals are probably cooked, which is another one of
yeah.
those. But they're another team that is just kind of like mind-boggling how they've lost so many games.
Yeah, I agree. I
So
agree.
the Bills, the Chiefs, obviously they're all gonna win their divisions. But Miami's coming on, is starting to come on. As long
Yeah,
as
so you guys are probably
they're
past
done. As long as Tua
looking at
stays
the draft like
healthy,
us. You guys are looking at the draft like us now.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Then they're gonna start from scratch. Everybody's gonna get fired. That whole
Again,
thing.
again.
Yeah, again, like it's just dumb. I just hope Robert Saleh didn't get fired for political reasons and just a dumb football reason. But in my opinion, he got fired for political reasons because Mr. Johnson over there, he loves his politics. He always trying to be,
Tell
he's
me
always
about it,
trying
man.
to have a position somewhere.
I know
So
all about that. I
yeah,
know all about that. Jerry Jones is just more about it's all about him. Like we're not
yeah.
gonna really
Jerry's world, man.
yeah,
Jerry's world, baby.
doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter about winning doesn't matter in that building. But it's okay. When it's not a Cowboys day, it's New York day.
Right.
We talk Jets. We're gonna switch it over. We're gonna switch over to the NBA because, ladies and gentlemen, the NBA is here. It's been here for like a couple
It
months.
is.
And
And we're in the NBA Cup right now.
yep, middle NBA Cup, and some things have happened with the Knicks. You guys traded Julius Randle,
Yep.
got Cat. How did you feel about that trade? I'm gonna ask you that first.
Well, I mean, off top, the last two major trades that the Knicks have done, with the shoot, I forget the name, with RJ Barrett and
Bridges. Oh,
quickly.
okay. Yep.
Um, RJ Barrett I knew was on his way out, but you know what? I give him credit because, and I'm going a little bit further back than your question, but I just want to say RJ Barrett was, in my opinion, like him and Julius Randle were the guys that finally started to turn around the Knicks. You
Yep.
know, they weren't destined to be the final answer, but I give them all the credit, all the love for at least being those two guys that really, started to turn things around for the Knicks. So anyway, the Randall and DiVincenzo, how do you ever say it?
Yep. Oh
DiVincenzo?
yeah, that's right. Randall and DiVincenzo left.
DiVincenzo all both got traded. I mean, it's tough. I knew Randall was out though. I knew Randall was gonna get traded. Like as soon as he couldn't make, play in the playoffs, he was really couldn't play for a spot on a team anymore. And Anunoby, they were gonna pay him, so they weren't gonna be
Yeah,
able to
they
keep.
paid him, so it was already you already saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I knew Randall was gonna be out, and Randall is a ball dominant, player. he's really good, but he really didn't do it in the playoffs. So I could see him, like I said, all the credit to him for getting the Knicks to this point. But with that team, it was Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's gonna would have to be the ball dominant guy, and Randall. It was gonna be tough with Randall,
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
those key moments. And Randall's one. It's just unfortunately, he's just one of those players that holds the ball for like 10 seconds before he decides what he's
Yeah,
gonna do.
he's not very fluid. He's
Right,
not
he's not fluid.
five.
Yeah, he's like a square in a pool, just but he's effective. He's really good, but it
Yeah, yeah,
just
he has his nights. He has his nights.
in a fluid game where you're trying to move the ball, like it just doesn't work. So I knew he was gonna be out. So I was sad for DiVincenzo because of the whole Villanova thing. And
Yeah,
man, he stepped up, right? When Randall got hurt, he started all those games and then he
a
broke the
lot of
Knicks
threes.
record for threes. He broke the
Yeah,
Knicks record for threes. And
absolutely.
he was a beast. Like he's athletic and he played hard. I really
Defense.
liked him.
Yep, he
Yeah,
played.
I really liked him. So that was, I mean, it was sad. But, I mean, dude's making moves and good for him. And you got Carl Anthony Towns who, I have mixed feelings about him. If he stays healthy, I think the Knicks can be a better team. They can be. They're definitely better offensively. Like that's hard. That would be hard to argue. But all these things only really get tested in the playoffs, right?
Absolutely.
So I think as long as Karl Anthony Towns gets healthy and he really gels with these guys and the mindset of the Knicks trying to be like that gritty team, because right now they're a little bit flashy. They're a little bit of they kind of got a polish,
They're
because
not good.
last year they were like a gritty,
They
hard
had
hat
dogs.
team.
Like
Yeah,
DiVincenzo
they're
was kind of a dog.
yeah they're all dogs. They're hard hat team. They brought it every night. Now with Karl Anthony Towns and
Cat's
Mikal
not really
Bridges.
that. Cat's not really that.
No, 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 not at all. But and Mikal Bridges, remember, he's the other one that
It's
was
true.
a big
Y'all got
trade.
Mikael
Mikal
Bridges.
Bridges. So now they're a little bit shinier and they're better offensively, but they're that much worse defensively. And so they're just like I think they're just 2 games above 500 now, or 1 game above 500.
Yep. Are you guys
So
still in the cup? Are you guys still in the cup?
yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, because they beat Philly by like 11. They lost to Chicago by 1, but then they beat Brooklyn 2 nights in a row. So yeah, I think they're shinier. It looks better on offense. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns has been playing like a straight beast offensively. He's
Yeah,
like shooting
absolutely.
55% from the 3-point line. He's averaging double figures in rebounds. Uh,
Yeah, he's playing
so
good. He's playing good.
Play
So
well, but defensively, he's a liability.
yeah,
So if they can figure out where he's decent. Oh, and the other thing I would say is Mikal Bridges really hasn't hit his stride with the team yet. He hasn't really found his niche in the team.
can't find a
I don't think he
spot.
can be I don't think he can be the guy, right? Like Hart is way too active
Yeah,
to, and Hart is not trying to be the guy. He's just fucking active.
does everything. He
He
does
does
everything.
everything.
Thibodeau uses him.
Yeah, like dude, he plays like, 100 minutes a game or whatever it is, you know.
Exactly.
So it's if Mikal Bridges can really find a nice niche and Carlton Towns just improves his defense. In my opinion, all he would have to do is improve his defense like 10-15%. And I'm fine as long as they make the playoffs and they can get into these kind of like if Carlton Towns improves 1/10% from here on out to playoffs.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I think they're gonna be all right. I don't know if they're gonna be, I don't know they're gonna be Boston, but you gotta like your chances
yeah.
if
Hey, one team
in
that
a
everyone
7 game series and Boston, has a bad game, like that kind of thing.
and East kind of seems wide open because there's two teams that were supposed to be up at the top that have kind of like tanked so far as the Sixers and the Bucks.
And
Both
Bucks. But
came
the
out.
Sixers have been playing without Maxi, and the
Yes,
whole
that without everyone.
Joel Embiid thing is just kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I really am not a fan of his now. I thought I had respect for that dude after watching him hobble through a couple games, but
yeah, but
he's a pain in the butt. So I
he's
don't know that they're
he's
gonna
a
do
diva,
anything.
and
But
they got Paul
Cleveland.
George.
Cleveland's
Oh,
up.
Cleveland looks good. Cleveland looks
Cleveland's up. So we'll
undefeated.
see. It should be fun, but I think the Knicks will be right there and it's cool. It's great. It's awesome to have the Knicks actually be like intriguing and good and like excited. Like it's really good for New York because Jets, Giants, you know,
football is not it right now.
no. So the Knicks are great to have them, be playing at a high level, even though they're 500, a little bit, one game over 500 right now.
But it's early
still. But it's early on. It's a long season. Not worried about that. And Brooklyn is playing better. I don't think they're gonna,
but they ain't really making noise like
right. They're not gonna make noise, but they're playing better.
Another surprise team on the East that I saw rising that was terrible last year was the Pistons. They actually
they're playing better too.
They're playing good this year. I don't know what happened, but a lot of it's interesting seeing these young teams start to rise. Like Cleveland is pretty young. Like they were a playoff team last year, and they have Donovan Mitchell, but a lot of their young guys are balling too. So NBA right now.
Garland's stepping up. Big
time.
I mean, he was already, but like he really, he's really taking that role now. So
he's a monster. Lakers 5-game winning streak.
Nice.
Anthony Davis, MVP. Let's go. MVP of the year. Let's go Lakers. But Juan, it's been good talking New York sports with you. There's one thing I got to ask you before we get out of here. Did you end up going to any Mets Dodger playoff games?
No, not playoff games, but I just went to a regular season game, but not playoff games.
Okay.
And that's another cool thing, the Mets way overachieved anything that anybody thought they were.
If we're talking New York sports, the Mets did their thing this year.
Yeah, they were the amazing Mets again, and that was fun too. Because I'm falling out of step with baseball, but that got me kind of interested. I started following a little bit, watched a few games.
Yeah,
so that was cool to watch the Mets, do their thing, like just kind of ragtag their way to the pennant, to the championship series.
And I tapped in this year only because, the Dodgers were super hyped up with all these all-star players. And Shani was like history, you know what I'm saying? So I started watching literally this. I watched a little bit last year, but I watched I tuned in for every Dodger game this year. And Shohei is amazing. That dude, he didn't play that great in the playoffs. All the other dudes balled out in the playoffs, but baseball. I'm a baseball guy now, Juan.
Yeah. It was tough. It was tough to find like a really weakness in the playoffs for the Dodgers. Like going into the playoffs, you could talk about some stuff, but in the playoffs they were a machine. They just tore through everything. The Mets got a couple games in there, but you never got a feeling that like the Dodgers were in real trouble.
Only against, honestly, I want to say the Padres. The Padres, I was like because they were good this year too.
They were good. I think they were favored in that series, actually.
They were because they had a nice defense. But hey, baseball, football, basketball, boxing, we gave you it all today. We gave you it all, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Juan, anything you got to say to the fans before we get up out of here? I gotta finish watching these Cowboys.
Like and subscribe. No, and don't watch the Cowboys. if you're a Cowboys fan.
If you care about your mental health, don't watch the Cowboys.
Yeah, if you're a Cowboys fan.
But all right, hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. Until next time on the Faithful Fan Show. Dun, 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 dun.
Rookie in the paint, going hard with the vet. Shot so much, man, I think I need a leg. Rookie in the paint, going hard with the vet. Shot so much, man, I think I need a leg. Animal, MC Cannibal, rap Hannibal. Here to change the game, mainframe, all y'all programmable. Coaching on tracks, balling like a paper like Phil. I'm Morpheus and real, my rhymes convict and heal. A world blind, my lies a red pill, real. Ball like I've been here, rookie in his prime. Focus like Jordan the second time. Kobe in playoff time, you know believe when I drop. Call for it, Kelly go in the Blizo spit. Auto like free throws by Ito. Circle loose stroke magic, rhymes over